In a world filled with vibrant colors and whimsical creatures, Dr. Seuss presents the Lorax, a powerful tale of environmentalism and the consequences of greed. First published in 1971, the Lorax has since become an iconic children's book, beloved by readers of all ages. With its engaging rhymes, bright illustrations, and timely message, it encourages young readers to reflect on their responsibility for the planet and to consider how their actions affect the world around them. The story, set in a fictional world full of magical creatures, centers on the plight of the environment due to the actions of a greedy entrepreneur, the Once-ler. The book introduces the Lorax, a creature that speaks for the trees and serves as the story's central figure, warning the Once-ler and the reader alike about the dangers of industrialization and the exploitation of nature. The Once-ler's tale. The story begins with a young boy who is curious about the mysterious tale of the Lorax and the once-thriving forest where the Truffula Trees once grew. The boy approaches an old, decaying house, which was once home to the Once-ler, a mysterious figure who has long since disappeared from the area. The house is abandoned and full of dust, but it holds the key to the story of what happened to the Truffula Trees and the land that was once full of life. The Once-ler, who is now an old man, begins to recount the story of how he first came to the land. When he arrived, the area was full of Truffula trees, beautiful, soft, and colorful trees that had enormous potential. The Once-ler was immediately struck by their beauty and saw an opportunity to make a fortune by cutting them down and turning them into Thneeds, a product that he could sell to people everywhere. The Once-ler was not alone in this venture. He was encouraged by his family, who urged him to continue cutting down the trees to meet the ever-growing demand for Thneeds. With greed in his heart and an unyielding desire for wealth, the Once-ler began to chop down the Truffula trees at an alarming rate. As the trees fell, the air grew thicker with pollution, the rivers became dirty, and the animals that once lived in the forest began to leave in search of better homes. The Lorax appears. One day, as the Once-ler continues his destructive work, a small, orange creature with a big mustache suddenly appears. This creature is the Lorax, the self-appointed guardian of the forest. He speaks for the trees and warns the Once-ler that his actions will have dire consequences for the environment. The Lorax tries to explain the importance of the Truffula trees to the ecosystem and how they provide food, shelter, and safety to many creatures. He warns the Once-ler that if he doesn't stop cutting down the trees, the entire forest will eventually be destroyed. Despite the Lorax's warnings, the Once-ler is stubborn and insists that he must continue his work to make money and support his family. The Lorax does everything in his power to stop the Once-ler from continuing his destructive behavior. He pleads with him to stop cutting down the trees, but the Once-ler's greed blinds him to the importance of the forest. The Lorax's pleas go unheard, and the Once-ler continues to chop down the trees, leaving the forest more and more barren with each passing day. The consequences of greed. As the Once-ler's business grows, so does the destruction of the environment. The air becomes thick with smoke, the rivers are poisoned, and the land becomes uninhabitable for the animals. The Once-ler's Thneed factory grows larger and larger, spewing pollution into the air and causing irreversible damage to the environment. The Once-ler's actions have not only harmed the land, but they have also caused the animals that once thrived in the forest to leave. The Barbier-Lutes, who fed on the fruit of the Truffula trees, have no food and are forced to leave in search of a new home. The Swans, who used the trees as nesting grounds, can no longer live in the polluted environment. Even the hummingfish, who relied on the clean water of the rivers, are driven away by the toxic sludge. In the end, the forest is completely destroyed. There are no more Truffula trees, no more animals, and no more clean air or water. The Once-ler's greed has left the land desolate and empty. The Lorax, heartbroken by the destruction, bids the Once-ler farewell, telling him that he must take responsibility for what he has done. With a heavy heart, the Lorax floats away, leaving behind only a single word, unless the message of hope. As the Once-ler finishes his story, the young boy listens intently, deeply saddened by what has happened to the forest and the creatures that once called it home. The Once-ler reflects on the mistakes he made and the consequences of his greed. He reveals that the only way the damage can be undone is if someone cares enough to make a difference. He tells the boy that the future of the forest, and perhaps the entire planet, lies in the hands of those who are willing to take action. The Once-ler hands the boy the last remaining Truffula seed, telling him that it is up to him to plant it and grow new trees. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not, he says. This final message is a call to action, urging the reader to take responsibility for the environment and to make a difference in the world. The moral of the story. The Lorax is more than just a story about the environment. It is a powerful reminder of the consequences of unchecked greed and the importance of taking care of the planet. Dr. Seuss uses the character of the Lorax to represent the voice of nature, warning humanity about the dangers of exploiting natural resources without considering the long-term impact. The story highlights the importance of responsibility, sustainability, and the need to protect the Earth for future generations. The book also carries a message of hope and empowerment. Despite the devastation caused by the Once-ler's actions, the story ends with a sense of possibility. The boy, armed with the seed, has the power to make a change and help restore the forest. This symbolizes the potential for each individual to make a difference, no matter how small their actions may seem. Conclusion. The Lorax is a timeless classic that resonates with readers of all ages. Through its engaging narrative, Seuss delivers a powerful message about environmental responsibility, the importance of caring for the world around us, and the need to take action before it's too late. The book's whimsical illustrations and clever rhymes make it an enjoyable read, while its deeper themes challenge readers to think critically about the choices they make and their impact on the planet. The story of the Lorax continues to inspire generations of readers, reminding us that we all have a role to play in protecting the environment. As Seuss so poignantly reminds us, unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. The Lorax is a call to action for all of us, urging us to speak up for the trees, the animals, and the earth, and to take steps to ensure a healthier, more sustainable future for generations to come. Stay tuned for more enlightening content. Head over to www.mybooksummary.com. Don't forget to subscribe and share the magic with friends. And let's grow together through the power of books and interesting stories.